a friend or a mentor mentioned to me, "Hey, Isaiah, what hobbies do you do?" I was like questioning myself. Besides jiu-jitsu, there's about nothing else actually.
Like this, because before I would think like, oh, this is just so boring, you know, and people are just like hugging each other. I was a striker at first, you know, so I had
when the spotlight hits you. Oh no, I need you like jiu-jitsu.
Hey everyone, welcome back to another Yobjj podcast, otherwise known as Youth of Brazilian Jiu-jitsu. It's an amazing platform, a community. Blessed and honored to have Iasmim Cadder Silva here with us today. It's a big honor and pleasure. I'm really looking forward to it. I woke up pretty early. Let's do it. And thank you so much for saying yes.
Thank you for the opportunity of talking a little bit about my story.
So in particular, I'm quite curious if you could start us off with your name. Is there any meaning?
My mom was inspired by a character of a movie like from Brazil long time ago. And my name is pretty much the same name as Jasmine in English, but what it means, it's like a flower, like the jasmine flower. So it means like delicate, like a flower. So it could be a little deceived by that meaning with me. Besides training, like I said, like I like to play music. I originally only played the guitar, but I'm passionate about like any like other instruments and stuff. Like I just got a piano. I go to the beach. I love to go like explore outdoors. I like to hang out with my friends. I don't have many, you know, like mostly people from the gym, but the few I got, they're like really good people. I love to eat. That's a problem.
Me too.
I never really thought I would make it to, you know, training with like top athletes like that. And then eventually I found myself like surrounded by just that people, like the people that are at the top. And I'm like, okay, so yeah, I think it's going right, you know, like it's
do pursue MMA and jiu-jitsu. Where are you at recently in your journey in terms of goals?
And so my goal with jiu-jitsu is to get to the black belt, learn as much as I can, and win the world title before I go back to MMA. Jiu-jitsu right now for the next 2 years about that, and then after that I'm back like 100% to MMA, and of course, like my goal is to be UFC world champion.
I started at a young age, starting in Muay Thai, so similar to you, I guess, from that striking background. And for me personally, why I made the transition different to you is I was quite chubby at an early age, and so the physique wasn't able to meet the cardio range for striking, so had to find a different alternative, and then so found jiu-jitsu, UFC world champ, to become, you know, black belt world champ. Where did that all start off? Let's take it back. You know, so you're from Brazil, right, Yasmin? And so where did that competitive drive, you know, come from you, that your journey coming up?
Well, so where I'm from in Brazil, it's like very, very countryside, so not a lot of resources, not even school. People are very used to get comfortable with the situation they are. Yeah. And like things are really hard over there, like a lot of poverty and crime. And so it's like it's a really tough reality, you know, just not comfortable ever. Yeah. Even as a kid, I would always like wonder like why things have to be this way, why are things so hard, why like my mom has to struggle so much, and so I could never just rest in peace with that idea. And ever since like I think I was like, I remember being like 6 years old and making plans to the future, making plans like to buy a house like somewhere else and stuff like that. I don't know why I was like that. No one ever told me to be like that, but I was just born this way. When I was 13 years old, I decided to leave the house. I left the house by myself and moved to another city by myself. This test for a very special school in the south of Brazil in another city, and I passed. It was really hard to get in, but I did. And so I moved to this city called Pelotas in the very south of Brazil. And there I was studying chemistry along with the high school. It was like a technical school where you could do both. So whenever I graduated, I would be ready to work already, which was my goal, to be able to support my family. So the way that I could make money to survive, or at least to get like food, so I could keep doing my activities, was to teach kids how to play guitar. I kind of taught myself how to play guitar as a kid. My dad was a musician, so it was another passion that I had, probably like my first passion. I met people from the circus, and that's like a crazy story. I ended up in a circus because of my guitar, because I was like playing guitar during the shows, like doing like the soundtracks for the shows,
live music,
and training. So it was not only about like playing guitar and all the artistic part, but also like physics, because we would have to be like strong and have good balance, because as we were in the concert or doing our presentation, we'd have to do other things, like I'll be playing the guitar, standing on those things. How do you call those things that you stand like wooden legs, where you stand tall?
Yeah. Oh my goodness.
Stilts or something like that. In the circus, I met a friend that did Muay Thai. And that's how I got into Muay Thai first. I was 15, almost 16 years old.
Yes.
And he was always talking about Muay Thai and saying how nice it was, and always like playing around with us and making me feel like a baby when I would try to hit him, and he would be like, and I was like, okay, I need to hit this guy, and I need to know how to do this. Keeping class just to go to Muay Thai, every single class they had at the gym. Like I would go in the morning, afternoon, night. I just like loved it. And then a month and a half later, I was already fighting. Like my coach said, okay, like you just started, like you have a lot to learn, but well, you have the passion, you have the will to fight. We're going to a competition. If you want to go, we're going to sign you up. But just let us know. And I was like, okay, yeah, let's go. So I ran into this guy that taught us some stuff like about jiu-jitsu, because some people at my Muay Thai gym, they wanted to do MMA. But in Brazil, let me tell you that people are crazy. So
how crazy? What are we talking about?
Well, they're crazy in very different ways, but about MMA and fighting and stuff, like they're very crazy. Like they will push you to fight like with no jiu-jitsu experience, like in MMA. You're gonna see guys that only do jiu-jitsu fighting MMA and having no idea of how to strike, and you're gonna see guys that only know how to strike.
That's not
and
pretty.
Have no idea at all about 10 years old. And then, well, so many things happened ever since, but then I started focusing more on MMA. I did one amateur fight in Brazil, and then I jumped to the pro. I won both by rear naked choke. I think at the time I had no jiu-jitsu. I was a white belt, but I just felt like it. Like I had a good instinct,
good instinct.
I think I probably watched too many movies or fights. I don't know. I judo throw the girl, and I never trained judo in my life before. At the time, when I went to a seminar from the Mendes Bros in Brazil, their jiu-jitsu really attracted me, so it made me look at jiu-jitsu in a different way. When I came here to visit, they invited me to be part of their team, and I was like, are you serious? Me?
You have that curiosity to change, because I think, like you said, there's so many people that are so they're so comfortable in where they are, their position in life, but you decided to switch the script. You decided to choose your own path and forge that. And it's so incredible to see you at such a young age, 13 years old. I wouldn't be moving out of the house and doing things like that. It's so inspiring for you to be doing that. And what other things do you do besides training jiu-jitsu and MMA?
Well, for a few years, I wasn't really doing like anything else pretty much, and I got into a really dark place because I had no life anymore. I got just so like obsessed with training that like I had like serious issues. But
Yeah.
then I started like seeing that I had to like let go a little bit of my
Mm.
focus sometimes to just
Mhm.
like come back like fresher, like to
Yeah.
training, and like it's important to have a life.
Like you mentioned, you're in in a dark place. I think that many people do fall into that, whether you be an athlete or not. Uh, was that was that something? Was someone helping you during that place? Like, uh, does that make sense? Like,
Yeah.
yeah, word it.
Well, you mean like how to get out of that dark place if someone helped me and
Yeah.
you know, okay.
Definitely.
I think even if you have like a lot of people that are around you and want to help you,
Mhm.
it depends mainly on yourself. Like if you don't want to help yourself, if you just want to like hold on to that bad feeling and like unconsciously you do that, like you victimize yourself, like, oh, poor me, like, oh, no, nobody's here for me, no one's gonna help me, like what am I gonna do?
Mm.
And that's actually what you do to yourself. And it's really hard for you to get yourself out. But I
Mm.
feel like regardless of having a lot of people around you helping you or not, like it's you who does it. Like I've had many friends like in the past that I've tried to help so much that we're in
Mm.
like not feeling okay, depressed, or
Yeah.
not happy. And after a while, I realized that like it's not. It doesn't matter. Like, of course, you want to help your friends, but they are the ones that have to decide. You are the one that have to decide like whether you want to be helped or not, and then you need to take action. Like the
Mm.
secret is to take action, because if you get comfortable with the situation, then it takes longer and longer and longer, and then it gets harder and harder and harder. So I think like I did have people trying to help me, but I didn't really see them helping me at the time.
Right.
Only when I realized that I needed a
Mm.
change is when I did. When I opened my eyes to good things and started seeing like a new perspective and
Mhm.
new ways to like fix my situation.
Being an athlete, that there are so many sacrifices that we have to endure, right, in order to chase our dream. And I guess because of the sacrifice, there's like reward and sacrifice, right? People tend to let go of that dream because there's too much sacrifice and not much reward, but you have to really trust in that process, right? For most of your day. And we're not, the usual, people that, do have that social life. And
You're gonna get tired, you're gonna get a little bored of like putting the work like every day, and then like the motivation has to come, but it has to come from inside of you. Like your coach can be there and telling you what to do, but like if inside of your heart you don't feel like you want to be there, then like you gotta work on yourself. Like you gotta first like figure out like, is this what I really want? And then like like I was saying, work on yourself. Um,
Mm.
you, it's great to have good examples around you. Like I'm very lucky right now because I have like great athletes around me, so I can like watch what they're doing and see like, well, if I'm going the same path, maybe like I'll get the same results.
Right.
But it changes as well because it changes from person to person. So maybe like something that works for Jonathan Alves, my training partner. It's not gonna work for me. Something that
Mm.
works for me, it's not gonna work for Mackenzie. What I was trying to say is, whenever you think that you're on edge, that it's like you're about to, like have a breakdown or something like
Yeah.
that, you need to stop and look within yourself and see what's wrong, and
Mm.
always have your ideas like very clear of like what you want. If that's what you
Yeah.
want, then like no matter what, you gotta keep pushing. You gotta keep working because nobody's gonna do that for you. and it's really hard to get to the top when like so many people want that, you know. So it's so competitive. So there's only one spot at the top. When you look around, like, what about the rest of my life? Like, what about like the other things that I used to like doing? And then when I'm like 40 years old and I'm not like a high level competitor anymore, like what did I do with my life? You know, having a goal, having a plan. I love to have like a notebook where I can write my plans for the year, for the next 5 years, for the next 10 years, what I'm gonna do after, and you know, things that I can be better at. So I think that's very, like, for your mental health, I think it's very important to have your ideas like very clear to yourself, you know. So I totally recommend like a notebook, writing down your goals. That's like something I do. Like, first day of the year, I write my goals for the year, and then I review what I did in the last year, and I replan what I want to do for the next 5 years, because sometimes it changes. Like with your as you go, you know, maybe you had this goal for 10 years from now, and then something happened. So based on your experience, those goals can change, you know, and you gotta be always like, you know, up to date with yourself, who you want to be. And I think that's the best thing I can recommend for athletes that are beginning, that are starting to get in the game. That you keep your goals like very clear to yourself and your
not only the short term, like, you know, you're performing really well, but you look at the long-term game, and you know, seeing you know, what kind of endeavors and what you're gonna pursue.
Yeah, so for the future, when I stop fighting, so let's say like probably like 13 years from now, that's like kind of what I plan. I hope that in the meantime, until I get there, like with the UFC and jiu-jitsu and everything, I can like use this time when I'm active to build a base, have my own gym, but I also want to have a project or something like a nonprofit organization, like to help other people that come from the same reality that I came from, people that have no resources and have dreams. Of course, they want to change their lives, or maybe they are too comfortable in their situation and they don't see that they can still change their lives and have a better life. And I also want to invest in other things, like other business. Like, I love to cook, so maybe I'll have a restaurant. Maybe I'll have something that has nothing to do with martial arts, you know.
Yasmin, for those that are wanting to pursue their dream, what kind of advice, of course, from an athletic background, but of course in general, for those that are kind of having those doubts in their mind, right, that they can't pursue it?
A clear vision of what you want. Like, if you know, like, okay, I really want to, let's say, it doesn't have to be something like crazy. I really want to one day be a black belt. You know, it's hard. Like, most people don't get there. It's really hard. It's a challenging path. Every time you get to a point where you're frustrated and you don't know like what to do next, or you feel like you want to quit or something like that, I think you should stop. Like, stop, maybe take time to yourself, and rethink. And if that's what you really want, it doesn't matter like how hard it is, or if people at the gym are not nice to you, or I don't know, or if your girlfriend doesn't like that you train, you know. If that's what you really want, like, go after it, because like you only have one chance, you know. Like, don't think about it, just do your best every day. You know, it's better to get a little bit tired and maybe, you know, you won't be able to party as much as you want, or hang out with your friends as much as you want, money, or like my mom wants me to do this, and then that's not what you really want. Like, you're never gonna be happy that way. You're gonna live a life, and then like at the end you're gonna think like, oh, I could have done this, I could have done that. Oh, now it's too late. So like, don't wait too much. Like, follow your heart.
Share on what your socials are so the listeners can follow your journey.
Okay, my Instagram, it's at Iasmim. So my name is a little bit complicated for people that speak English. So it's Iasmim Casser, which is Casser. And that's my Instagram.
Thank you so much for listening. Give this video a thumbs up, subscribe, comment down below what you want to see next. And I'll see you all in the next video. Keep smiling, keep training hard. Sorria e treina duro. Peace, guys.